You know, it just hit me that I don't think I ever told you guys about this sword. I just got this sword for my birthday a couple weeks ago. This is an actual, it's a real sword, and it's a replica of the Master Sword in Zelda. Pretty awesome and pretty sharp. I used this to open the rest of my gifts. You know, with the wrapping paper, I was cutting it open. Not only did I get the Master Sword, look at this. I also got the Hyrule Historia book for my birthday. So now, not only do I have the means to smite evil, but I have the instructions on how to do it. Not really, it's just a book about video games, but I can smite evil with this. It's just a dangerous thing to have around. Speaking of video games, we have a bunch that we just reviewed. We have a bunch to talk about. That's another thing. You know, people still, to this day, are like, what happened to all your reviews? Don't you guys do reviews anymore? First off, don't ask dumb questions to a guy with a sword, least of all the Master Sword. And secondly, like, where have you been? We do more reviews now than ever before. It's just that they migrated. And you know, when things migrate, they go to places with warmer climates. And, you know, there are chicks in bikinis. That's where you should go. You should go watch our reviews down south at classicgameroom.com because it's a more hospitable climate. I've already said too much. Anyway, if you go there right now, TJ's got a review, another weird TJ review, and yes, I'm going to continue pointing this sword at you. It's called the Dream Machine for the PC. I have no idea what that is because I only play games with swords in them. I've got a review as well today, although I've already gone back on my word because this game doesn't have any swords. It's called Spider-Man 2. It's based on the movie with Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst, who I still would. Don't lie, you would too. Actually, that game's not as bad as I remember it being. It's still not great. You get to swing around. That's kind of cool. If Spider-Man had a sword, he'd be a hero worth having. And then tomorrow, TJ's got another TJ review. It's a PC game called Deponia, I don't know, whatever. Watch his review to learn the real pronunciation of it. Spoiler, that's a little teaser for you. And I also have a review tomorrow of another superhero who's not man enough to carry around a sword. He's a huge pussy who wears a cape and thinks just because he's dark and is voiced by Christian Bale, he can get away with not carrying a sword. It's Batman, Rise of Sin Tzu. And people wonder why I don't read like a lot of comics. None of these cats have swords. Lino had a sword. And he was a cat. Ha! 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 That was Link speak. For Friday, we have more reviews. TJ has a review of a game called Moro Twinbee for the Famicom. Why can't he just review a game for once in his life that I can pronounce? Like, would it be that much to burden him? Like, hey, why don't you review a game that the guy with swinging a sword around dangerously and with little regard for his own safety can actually pronounce in the videos that he's putting up? That'd be really nice. This thing is really sharp. I also have a review Friday. 3 days in a row. Another superhero game for the GameCube. This time it's Ultimate Spider-Man, which came after Spider-Man 2. In some ways it's better, in some ways it's worse. There's no Kirsten Dunst in this one. So, you know, listen, that's the way the world is. You know, sometimes every 2 steps forward, 1 step back, or however that phrase goes. I don't really care because I don't pay attention to really anyone anymore. Not that now that I have a sword. Like, what reason do I have to listen to anything that anyone ever says to me? But hey, let's head to the forums and see what questions you guys have to ask. Hopefully you asked about my sword. Nope, no you didn't. You asked a bunch of questions that do not deal with swords. Come on. I can only hold your hand so far in life, guys. There's have you learned nothing at this point about life in general that you're not asking about? Although one guy's asking me about Slayer, which is a good question. He wants to know what his name is. Oyabungajin. He's asked questions before that we've answered. Hi, what's up, Oyabungajin? He wants to know what my favorite Slayer and Megadeth albums are. This is actually kind of a boring, predictable answer, though. My favorite Slayer album, Hell Awaits, is close, but it's actually Rain and Blood. I know, predictable. And my favorite Megadeth album is actually Rust in Peace. Although, you know, Megadeth is my favorite band of all time. That's one thing you should have discerned by now. So, you know, it's hard to pick either because they're two of my favorite bands, but Rain and Blood and Rust in Peace. And there's your answer, Oyabunga Jim. And again, head over to the forums because we talk about a lot of things. It's not just metal. We also talk about TMNT. And this is a question from Cool Guy. Hey Derek, I know you like TMNT, so I was wondering what you thought of Turtles in Time Reshelled. I actually didn't play it because there was no need to reshell it. That's another thing in life. There's so much out there that's ruined and terrible. Let's fix that stuff. Let's not focus our efforts on Turtles in Time, which is just, leave that alone. You know, there's enough games out there that are lousy that we can try to fix those. You know, what you don't want to do is you don't want to fix something that's not broken. It's fixed. Like, whatever I break with this sword, add that to the list of things that will need to be fixed, you know? But you don't fix the sword. The sword's perfect as it is. That's my thoughts on Turtles in Time Reshelled. Anyway, it's Wednesday, and listen, you know what? As much as I'd love to sit here and just wave my sword around all haphazardly and dangerously with no regard for, you know, my own safety, I got things I gotta do. I got Yoshi's New Island for the 3DS. I'm gonna play that all day. I'll have a review of that coming up pretty soon. I got a lot of good stuff coming up. I got World of Illusion with Mickey Mouse, that's coming up. I got all kind of stuff. You're gonna have to stick around. It is probably a really, really bad idea to have this lying around. But I am nothing if not a man of bad ideas. I don't discriminate against any ideas, good or bad. I'll talk to you guys Friday. Ha!